Hey everyone, welcome back to the Archangel 15, bringing you another weekly report for December 12th, 2022. Coming up on Christmas time here, I wanted to elaborate on a couple things regarding my weekly reports. I had to make sort of an executive choice regarding my channel. I had sort of two divergent philosophies or strategies that I could use with these reports, and I'm kind of leaning towards the one rather than the other. The views I don't really care about. I already know that my views are gamed. I'm guessing at this point they probably allow some people, maybe childhood friends of mine or people I grew up with, to watch these. Other people probably don't even have access to them, or who knows what the situation is. Anyhow, so one avenue I could use is every single week, regardless to hell or high water, come on here and put on a show. Like I said, just throw it down every single week, regardless of what I come up with. And I like that. You know, I'm a very hardworking, diligent person, and every week there's at least something of value to bring to you. But the other one is to kind of like sit back from the shadows and speak when I feel compelled to speak, or like something inspires me, I guess you could say. And I don't feel that every single week. I don't want to be somebody that just comes on here and runs their mouth about some garbage. Years ago, let me start off by saying my disclaimer. If you do not like or do not agree with what I'm saying, please discontinue watching immediately. By watching my presentations and channel, you agree not to take any legal action against me. So I grew up very inspired listening to the late, great Rush Limbaugh. I have reason to believe that he's not deceased, that he's still alive. And when I was younger, I used to think Rush Limbaugh was the world. I used to, like I said, I remember years ago, I had my small painting business. I'd have my radio every day, 12 o'clock. It like really helped the day go by. It like really like the hours from 12 to 3 just went like that. And you didn't really care if there was a commercial on, and there was plenty of them, because you knew that there was going to be something of substance said. And he used to say I have like one arm tied behind my back just to keep it fair. And I understand what he's saying now. But the truth is, he was a puppet. He was a puppet for the Republicans and the Bushes. Yeah, and in my opinion, he's probably in an underground bunker with the Bushes, Colin Powell, and some other scumbags. Probably thinking that they're puppet masters behind the scenes or something like that. But yeah, like I said, so one avenue is, like I said, I bring it to you every day, all the time, or bring it to you when I feel compelled to speak. And that's what I think I'm going to do, rather than, like I said, just come on and excessively talking for the hell of it. There's a lot of stuff that's going on that is, like I said, like what I'm bringing you here is above and beyond. Like there's tons and tons of stuff that either they don't cover at all, or it's covered very, very minimally to the level that it should, or there's other situations and fires that are burning around the world that they don't want you to like start correlating stuff together. I have reason to believe that the coups are failing and falling. Like every week, I'm gonna like bring you one like a CIA Illuminati puppet and like expose them or whatever. But for some reason, Larry Ellison came across my radar this week. I have reason to believe that him and some other elite people are starting to withdraw massive sums of money from the United States banking system. I have reason to believe this, that they're withdrawing because they see something on the horizon that like is scary to them. For the note, he lives in Hawaii, has his own private island, and his daughter's a CIA puppet as well. She brought you films like Zero Dark 30 and American Hustle. I don't think she's one of the worst puppets. I actually like some of those films. But I can tell you that nobody would become a film producer in this day and age if they weren't a CIA puppet. Guarantee you she sits down with some Italian Catholics from Washington, D.C., and gets her marching orders. They probably sit down and they have little meetings, and they tell her what she can talk about, what she can, or try to give her I guess, like I said, I have a separate presentation on the blacklist. Please watch that, the Hollywood blacklist, and like, there's about like 10 to 12 reasons. Like, the main one is not going in video or movies that they want you to do, or filming with people that they want you to film. And like, if you start stepping up, you'll get blacklisted, never get a job ever. So there's many other so like, and there's also a volcano going on in Hawaii. I don't know, I'm not there. It's a long way from the mainland. There's other stuff going on with that volcano that like I don't believe is being talked about. I talked about in the past presentation about the seismograph information around Yellowstone is like considered now national security, and like nobody has access to it. I found that out many years ago, actually. The weather in general doesn't get covered a lot. Like, did you see, like, I don't know if maybe this was a joke or something, but like, did you see the flooding in Saudi Arabia recently? It was like horrible, like epic biblical level floods. And like I almost believe that the Saudis paid money so like they didn't cover this because the Saudis don't want to look like Satan or something like that. Like I mentioned my hatred for the Saudis, and like I said, like they connect them right to the Bushes, and like they intentionally start wars against the good Muslims, the Shias, and like I said, like follow the money and the lies, as Ted Gunderson used to say. While I'm on the like talking about an FBI person, former like great Ted Gunderson, I'm not going to go in any more about him. I mentioned in a past presentation, like I said, I was in the Department of Justice 4 times, and like I know for a fact, like former FBI people work there, other people that are involved in human cloning, involved in like the suppression of financial markets, other scummy stuff. And like not only do I know, like just like I said, that this one particular individual, you know who I'm talking about, raped young girls. He did it with date rape drugs. Like my alchemy, God inspired me and wanted me to mention this. Like I said, that like basically the big thing is twins, triplets, and quadruplets, and they like to like I guess they have them as their own little kids, which technically they're not because they're in vitro babies, they're clones, and then they date rape them, and then like I guess this is like an accepted society, and like all around DC and you know Annapolis and Arlington, it's a huge thing. These kids probably don't even go to regular school. The truth is, the FBI is a bunch of clowns, and they take it up the ass from the CIA. Yeah, I have more authority than the CIA, than FBI. Like, I'm not even effing with you. Like, the FBI is an effing joke. And, like I said, that's why their building in D.C. looks like belongs in a third world country. Nobody wants to even work there. They have some African-American people that are, like, compatriots of, like, from the Obama administration, and you have some leftovers from the old Bush days, basically old limp dick white people, and then like I said, you have some other people thrown in now, I guess as well, silver spoons basically. I can tell you that like all the attorneys, that like basically that like there's two, like if you're working as an attorney at the Department of Justice, either two things happen. Okay, either one, you're not smart enough and you're not good enough to work in private law where you're going to make $600-$800 an hour. Okay, either that. Or B, your daddy's a silver spoon and you're an ass puppet, and you've been taking it up the ass your whole life, and you'll do whatever you're told, and then you like you said, you think you're like there's some kind of miraculous, beautiful system that's going to emerge from all of this, and it's going to be a horrible story at the end of America. I wanted to actually do like a whole alchemy series of my card game with this, and like bring it to you. I mentioned I have a sports injury. I'm not sure what it is yet. Something pretty serious in my right shoulder. I'm going to let it chill for a little while. Then I have some physical therapy bands, these rubber bands they give you. I had it from a past injury. I'm going to try to attempt to do that. I'm hoping to get good for February to go skiing at least once. But I've learned a lot of lessons. Like I said, like somebody like me who's always like in control of myself and just the situation at hand. Like I've learned about being a warrior, and like true lessons in being a warrior. And like a big one is balance. I can't emphasize enough. Like if you go right to the Karate Kid movie, and what does everybody remember? Standing on the thing with like doing the balancing stuff. And like I said, like everything in life is diametrically opposed. Black and white, positive, negative, male, female, night to dark. Everything has like equal opposition, and it like exists like that typically for a reason. You know, if you're right-handed and you only use your right hand, yeah, you can probably be a good fighter, but you can't be a true warrior. You have to learn to use like the whole show. Like I can't really go any deeper than that. And only true warriors withstand the test of time. Like, you know, like somebody can come for 4 years and they can go and act like they're going to take over the world. They can steal some kids. They can steal some money. They can print some fake money. They can, come up with a clever idea, like a car that runs on batteries, some other stuff. But like I said, only a true warrior will withstand the test of time. Only a true warrior could be pushed out on the streets and start with nothing, and they're going to make it. Why? Because it's in their blood. They're a stallion. They're a hunter. They're a killer. Like I said, they live. They fight. Like I said, it's something it's incarnated in certain people. Not everybody has this. And like you have to be like ready to get your arm cut off. You have to be ready to get your dick cut off. You're going to be tortured. You have to be ready to face the worst depths of hell, to fight for your flag and your country and for honor. Honor. Something the United States military knows nothing about. And like, you know, like right as we speak right now, there's some limp dick Navy SEALs, some faggot Marines, and some other people that are sitting in bunkers, and a lot of them have clones, daughters of mine. And like I said, like, for the record, I give none of you, not a single one of you, my kids. You did not come to me, and we did not sit down and have a ceremony, or you did not ask me in good faith. You stole. You are in violation of several commandments of God. You need to know this. You will be brought to justice. Maybe not in this life, but at some point, your consciousness will pay. I probably have at least 20,000 kids, if I had to guess, at least, from my estimation. And like I said, the first commandment: there shall be no other gods before me. Thou shalt not steal. You know the kick. I did a presentation recently on birds disappearing, and like I said, like the whole situation at hand. Like, we can talk, I can do this all I want. The truth is, everything's dying. The outlook is very, very, very bleak and not good. And like, I like to think that only the strong will survive, but who knows? Like I said in the beginning of this, I believe a lot of coups are failing. There's natural disasters and other things that are going on. The Freemasons are falling down, and I see myself as winning in many, many ways, and I've already won, and I'm still here, like I said, in above ground, and like in pretty good shape. And like I said, I have a whole summer ahead of me. I have, like I said, travels ahead of me. Like, they can suppress me all they want. I'm not going to conform. I will fight you to my death. So like, and another thing, I like, okay, so like, before like all this nonsense happened, like the elites, they were already indulging to excess. I mean, it was already really, really, really bad. The economic inequality, just other things. Communism, just call it what it is. It's communism. And Trump, he was like he wanted to, like, he's a effing moron. He has not one thing he'll be remembered for. He has not one quote of substance. If you can, I'll send you money that I don't even have if you can tell me one quote of substance that this man said. Anyhow, I'll even go further. I'll make you something. I'll make some kind of like alien artwork, some really cool stuff. Like, I'll go get some acid and put it on metal or something, and like, it'll make some really cool design. A one of a kind piece. Anyhow, my stock in Russia is probably couldn't get any higher. Like I said, like, after I did this is my air show video, which I personally believe is in probably the top 10 of all time and most impactful Russian films ever made, probably in top 3. But just out of respect for like the true masters of Russia, I will say 10. But like I said, like, I pretty much expect a hero's welcome when I go back there. Like, I've done innumerable, countless work. I put my life on the line. I put my reputation on the line. I put my own money on the line. Like I said, and like, they played games with me last time I was there, because like, just to even go there, they had to like basically sell their soul to the Italian scum CIA. Like, and like, I'm not going to Italy. Let's get this straight. I'm not going to Germany. Let's get this straight. I'm not going to the UK. At least not in the 5-year plan. When I have my Asian Chinese kids, then I'll bring them to those countries. So, like, understand that it's not in the nature of the Russians and the Chinese to play this little psychological warfare game with the news media like they're doing. And like, I don't want to add fodder to it. Like I said, this is why I'm in the future, I'm only going to, talk when I feel compelled to talk. I'll still do my presentations that are like based on one specific idea. Like, pretty much all the work on this channel is like based on like elaboration of like one specific topic, concept, or idea, what have you. Or like book reviews, travel logs, recipes, various stuff. That's what I think kind of makes this channel interesting. I'm working on reading Blavatsky, The Secret Doctrine. This is like, I almost get tunnel vision when I start reading it. Like, there's a lot more secret to it than you realize. Number 1 is cosmogenesis. Number 2 is anthropogenesis. Really, really, really amazing stuff. I'm only like 100 pages into one, and I have tons of notes already. I don't know. I'll probably do the first book in this one review, and then the second book in another review. So I'm going to try to get stepping on that and concentrate more on that right now. I talked about in the past, I'm attempting to leverage various entities out of like $57 billion. I guess on some go big or go home. Keep February 17th. It's a very big day. Michael Jordan's birthday. Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day, his birthday. A few others. Ties together like a huge, huge matrix. But I would say something probably will happen in, near, or around February 17th. Other than that, I will sit on my hands until basically the end of next summer. Like assuming that I scrape pennies and like I said, keep living the way I am. I will sit on my hands, not play your games, and like I said, by next September, look to go on another international trip. Get the hell out of here. Hopefully this time for good. Like this time, I'm not going to Denmark or any country that the Rothschilds have their hands on. Like basically I'm making them like there's no more room in this world for hedging. Okay, like I know it's cool to like play both sides of each war and you can't lose, but like there's like that philosophy is a dead philosophy in my book. Like you need to choose your side. Like I understand you probably have 870,000 kids stolen of various bloodlines, the 12 tribes of Judah, whatever. Like I said, in my opinion, you have nothing. You have no honor. You have no dignity. You have no courage. And like I said, like I will fight these people till death. And like hopefully like I'll end up in a bunker in Russia, China, Mongolia. I know some people in Kazakhstan. And like I said, like at least somebody who's in opposition to these people. And that like life will eventually start on again. I'm not making any deals with anybody. Like there's a scene from the famous movie The Devil's Advocate, and after watching that movie several times, one of my favorite movies, great movie. The one scene's actually filmed in Donald Trump's apartment, believe it or not, and like there's like a lot of corollaries to that with him and other things. But like he should have been like they wanted him to like put like Keanu Reeves should have took control of the whole situation and said screw you, like basically like I'll tell you what to do, and like you know like it's like that's how I kind of feel anymore. But like I said, my outlook is very, very bleak. I recently put for the thumbnail for this, I'm going to put a bumper sticker, a little sticker I put on my sister's car, Death Row Records. And like, that's pretty much where we're all at. Like everybody pretty much is on death row at this point. It's like a slow wait until death. And I don't really think like at this point, anybody really cares about me, to be honest with you. Like this, I've been tortured. I had innumerable horrible things done to me. I mentioned it on this channel. Like I'm begging and asking anybody who watches this channel who has any power or any pull in the world, please help me get the fuck out of here. I poured my heart and soul out into this channel. I've given you infinite signs from God. What more do you want? I recommend watching my presentation on the Mongols and Genghis Khan. Like, if you really want to know what this is all, what's going on, like, understand how human consciousness can be programmed. And like I said, like, please look at all of the countries that used to fly the or still do fly the hammer and sickle. It was like the entire world. China still flies it. Korea still flies it. Like I said, like all huge countries like Mongolia, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, etc. And like, why did Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov, however you want to say, why did he separate Ukraine from the Soviet Union? I told you this in the past. If you know my channel, you know that it was to create a buffer between East and West, to essentially allow for world takeover to happen on like I said, slowly, like through a buffer zone. It wouldn't be so obvious. And like it's like Genghis Khan had 70 to 79% of the entire world conquered. He beat the Russians, and he was outnumbered like 4-1, or even more than that. And like this badass people. When he came into town, you knew he wasn't effing around. Vicious dude. And so he had almost 80% of the world. He realized that it's easier to manifest a slave race, to build up everything, the infrastructure, everything, and then just take them out. You can do it in many ways. You can do it through food. You can do it through genetics. You can do it through fake drugs, all kinds of stuff you can do. Various eugenics programs. And like, that's basically what's going on here. And like I said, like I'm not in the nature to play games with anybody, but like my abilities to control the ionosphere are real. I've proven it on this channel. I've predicted there's a lot of people living in very close proximity to me. And they're very ungrateful people. And like I said, they don't realize that there's other parts of the world that are completely dark now. And I hope and pray to turn your air into radioactive sludge. I'll sit there and breathe it with you. I don't care anymore. Like I have a lot more power, like I said, that they want to acknowledge. And like I said, like I will keep doing little things until I get acknowledged, until I get the ability and the resources to do what I want to do. And like I truly do believe that I'm part of like a theocracy in a sense. I've seen infinite signs. Like I said, like at some point I'm going to start throwing meteors, I believe. But understand that, like I said, playing the games is not in the nature of the Russians or the Chinese. And like I said, look at that map of all the hammer and sickle flag countries. And I'm not going to, like I said, go too much deeper here in this presentation. Just like I said, in the future, know that I'm not going to bring a weekly presentation every week. I'm going to try to save them up. Eventually, I'll get back into my alchemy game, hopefully. And I believe like there's a lot of people in my own family that need to go on a proverbial fishing trip and not return. Like I've been betrayed, and like I said, like I hope some people, at least somebody out there, has some compassion for like what I've incurred in the nonsense growing up with the MK Ultra, just all this bullshit my whole life, and like then like the infiltration of the family like is a big one. Like I must leave and go somewhere that's not in the hands of the Roman Catholic Church or the Rothschilds. Like, and I start my own dynasty or empire. I have some really cool, interesting stuff on. I had to like also check out my Theory of Everything presentation series, an 11-hour presentation series where I pretty much cover everything. There was like one thing in there that I mentioned that I wanted to go into more. I'm working on it. Like probably maybe a year down the road that I bring this to you if I'm still alive. But basically, when you start getting into like deeper elements of chemistry and synthesis, you pour something out onto like glass that you're synthesizing, and like it stretches and like basically almost goes from like light to dark, or like not only light to dark but like heavy to light, and to like pH high to low, and like it correlates a lot of other things together. And like depending on like what you're trying to extract, like you can take something from a higher level of the spectrum or a lower level of the spectrum and you get different results. Really, really, really interesting stuff. And I'm not a chemist, like I said, I'm basically self-taught, but something I would like to like eventually go back and add some stuff to. I probably could do a nice little presentation on that. Really cool. And I'm going to end with a poem that I've wrote. If you know my channel, you've heard this before. This is my personal poem to the Freemasons and the Freemasons' kids. As the gates of hell consume your soul, burn slow, now you know you have no place to go. For you and your kids, the lies of time expire into impending hell and eternal fire.